Prepare your lotion and fluff out your tissues, because JoJo Bizarre's Adventure Part 6 Stone Ocean has just arrived, and boy did David Production bring the heat. They ripped off the condom, took the training wheels off, and summoned Exodia with the way that they handled this masterpiece. If JoJo Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean was a video game, then I would have unlocked an achievement called Fellatio Master with the way I blew through this anime. It's like I was speedrunning anime and I was gold splitting each episode. If you're worried about spoilers, don't worry, I won't talk about anything too major about the plot. I'm just going to talk about the anime in general so that you can watch it. The JoJo franchise decided to partner with Netflix for this season. Now, there was some flack online and some disappointment about all the episodes being released in one whole batch instead of a weekly release. Personally, it doesn't really bother me too much about getting one massive abdominal cum shot of episodes all in one go, but I do understand these sentiments. When you release in a weekly release schedule, you gain a hype. You know, people like to be edged with their content. They like to be milked out of enthusiasm. People like to be edged with their content, and I don't blame them. You know, seeing each episode every week builds hype, and it allows you to get closer to that orgasm that you're hoping for. It also gives you something to look forward to in each week. It would have been interesting to see what Stone Ocean's impact on the internet would have been on a weekly schedule. Regardless, the release discharge velocity of these episodes doesn't really deter me at all, and I'm still going to just give you my honest review about it. I have to say that I blew through Stone Ocean so fast and so hard that my mouth is now arid and I have lockjaw. I gave this anime the speedrunner's deep throat, the way I was mashing the next episode button. I thoroughly enjoyed Part 6, and even though it's a very Netflix thing to just binge a show and finish a series very quickly, I feel like I only did so because I enjoyed Stone Ocean so much. I've never been more erect from a JoJo part since Part 1 and 2, and Eureka did Part 6 deliver. Parts 1 and 2 for me, out of the entire JoJo franchise, were my personal favorites because it was so zany. I was a JoJo virgin going in, and I had no idea what was going on. I wasn't baptized or predisposed to any of the lore. What makes the JoJo franchise so great is its ability to name characters and their movesets, their stands, and even random items. I'm a huge fan of the 70s and 80s music, so the fact that they name their stands after bands, musicians, song titles, song albums is just so funny. You can't help but smile when you hear a character just shout AC/DC. As with any other JoJo series, the dramatic dialogue combined with the over-the-top, astonished faces is top tier. The setting takes place in a jail where the main character is a female JoJo this time, which is the first in franchise history, named Jolene Cujo. There are some big pillars of expectation that erupt from the ground when you do a female JoJo, and I think that they did a fantastic job with the casting. Jolene Cujo's voice actor did amazing, and I love the hidden lore behind her being a huge Stone Ocean fan in particular. She's a really big fan of Part 6, and she really loved Jolene Cujo growing up, reading her in the manga, and always dreamed about voice acting her. So she would practice voice acting Jolene Cujo all the time, and she eventually did land her dream job, so kudos to her. I love the way that they handled the backstory for Jolene, and the reason why she's in jail is very quick and succinct. It doesn't take up too much time. It's like taking the perfect shit, where it's super clean and you don't have to wipe, and there's very little end lag. Defecating in a timely manner is not only clean, but also doesn't take any unwanted frames. It doesn't waste any frame data. Not wasting frame data from a shit is one of the most satisfying things in life, I would say, and I would compare this phenomenon to Stone Ocean. When watching JoJo Part 6, I would be so hooked on an episode of Stone Ocean, and the end credit "to be continued" would show up on the bottom of the screen, and I'd have to do a double take. Like, what? How could this be? I was only watching for 1 minute. I It was like I became an anime character and I was monologuing and questioning my existence. The JoJo poses that Jolene does in this anime are immaculate and juicier than any semen on this planet, nay, galaxy. The soundtrack is celestial and the sound design is so good that I'm actually fucking concerned. They need to nerf the sound design because that shit is way too overpowered. It's like David Production hired Echo from Greek mythology to come and oversee the sound design for this project, and then they hired a bunch of nymphs and had each and every single one of them bless each audio bite within the anime with holy timbre. I'm also assuming that the animators, for some unknown, ungodly reason, got their hands on angel blood, and then just like a science project, they just sprinkled a couple dots on each and every audio clip in order to increase the levels of acoustic velocity and sound pressure. I watched Stone Ocean in its entirety with my headphones on, and it felt like I was reincarnated into the anime itself. You can hear little jingles of characters in the background, and some characters from past JoJo parts also have their own jingles and themes, which was a nice touch. Now I don't know if I'm accurate in saying this, but Stone Ocean had the most upfront dialogue out of any other JoJo part. You know, I'll expose my penis out into the open and tell the truth. I haven't finished all JoJo parts yet. I finished 1 through 4 in their entirety, all episodes, but I haven't finished part 5. I have yet to complete part 5 Golden Wind, so my takes about certain things may not hold as much weight. They're not particularly holding, you know, huge testicles of knowledge, but the ball sacks might be, you know, less full and contain less mass. Nevertheless, I love how they talk about peeing, pooping, masturbation. I mean, they go into some pretty dope topics in this anime. The new stands that showed up in Stone Ocean not only filled my cock with blood, but with joy as well. They were expertly drawn. The animations are so crispy that you can cut your finger if you placed it onto your screen. I like how Jolene's stand is strong, but it's not too overpowering. It has good abilities, but she's not the most broken and OP character. This lets her get into sticky situations, and the audience has some suspense and some bewilderment as to how they're gonna get out of it. It also allows for other characters to show up, and quick ingenuity is used to get out of dodge instead of just relying on some completely broken mechanic over and over again. Jolene as a character was surprisingly pleasant. You know, she's not some one-dimensional character that you just get angry over and have to wait seasons and seasons in order for them to progress and develop. I haven't read the manga, so I don't really know what her personality is like in there, but I did appreciate what the anime did with her. She's reckless, but she can also be clear-headed at times, and I think it's very apparent that she's smart and cares about other people, and not just herself. She has larger goals in mind that she wants to fulfill, but she won't hesitate to stop and help out a friend. CGI, the bane of anime existence, the root of all evil. The easiest attack you can make on any anime is that they have CGI in it. It doesn't matter how good it is or what it does. But I think I can say unironically, this is the best I've ever seen an anime handled CGI. What's insane is that the CGI is so subtle that I didn't even notice it until I watched the episodes back again just to skim through it and see if I missed something. And when I did go back, I found out there actually some scenes did have CGI, I just literally didn't notice them. That might be partially due to me watching it in low light and also low brightness in my room while it was like 3 in the morning, but the CGI is never for more than 3 seconds at most, and if it is, it's for a very specific reason. It's to show something quick in motion, and it never distracts you from the scene because after every CGI moment, it immediately transitions back to the animation style. This is like achieving the perfectly colored penis. I don't know how to do it, but goddamn did David Production nail this shit. I was absolutely dumbfounded at the CGI, and honestly, it was one of the main reasons why I think I enjoyed Stone Ocean so much, was the way that they handled the CGI. Obviously, we know how bad CGI can get with things like Berserk. Some people even complain about the CGI in Attack on Titan, which wasn't that bad, but I can kind of see a point there. But I don't think anyone in their right mind could criticize the CGI in this anime. I mean, they just handle it so well, and that shit is goated. There are so many scenes in this anime that had me queefing in anticipation. I watched Stone Ocean in 2 different positions. I know, sounds a bit daring and adventurous, but I decided to watch Stone Ocean lying down on my back in bed with my laptop on my chest. Kind of like how you lay in a bathtub when you're taking a bath and your testicles float to the brim of the water above the meniscus, and it kind of bobs up and down like a pair of fishing floats. That's kind of how my laptop was situated upon my chesticles. So lying on my back, I also watched in front of the PC screen, just sitting in a chair, glued to the screen, lotion in one hand, suntan lotion in the other. In both positions, I was dragged by my cock to the screen due to the sheer anticipation and excitement that I was experiencing. I would finish a video and realize that I am literally 2 centimeters away from making out with some polarized glass. I'll always praise the Jojo series and their ability to make a character extremely obnoxious and evil. They're beating up, humans, dogs, animals. No matter your species, no matter your genus, you are not safe in the Jojo world. Your ass is getting foddered off to show how evil a villain is. The villains are pure, unadulterated assholes, and I love how they're just the definition of just insanely evil. Coming into this anime, both literally and figuratively, I didn't think that I would enjoy it as much as I did. For me, Phantom Blood and Battle Tendency is top tier, and it's so blasphemous and zany and funny that I don't think that another JoJo part could ever top it for me personally. But Stone Ocean had some wonderfully handcrafted, succulent moments that made me laugh, giggle, excrete out some liquid, and I'll just spread my butt cheeks wide and just tell the truth that it kind of reminded me of Phantom Blood and Battle Tendency. Stone Ocean as an anime is like a pair of mommy milkers that cannot be ignored. If you have some time to spare, or you want to procrastinate and listen to your devil on the right side of your shoulder and ignore the angel on the other, then I implore you to go ahead and try out this anime. The point system I'm going to rate this anime on is similar to the Richter scale. I rate this anime a 9.8 out of 10.